Hi, Story Film here and welcome to my channel. Today I'll tell a story, a movie adaptation of the popular game from Capcom, called Resident Evil. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City is a 2021 action horror film and adapted from the stories of the first and second Resident Evil games. It serves as a reboot of the Resident Evil film series, which was loosely based on the video game series of the same name. Unlike the previous Resident Evil movies, this film adaptation sticks better to the plot of the game's storyline, even if the characters are portrayed differently. Before we begin, get yourself something to eat and drink, find a comfortable place, and enjoy the story. The film begins at the Raccoon City orphanage, where it's a bit creepy at night and with unpleasant atmosphere. While all the inmates of the orphanage were asleep, except for the warden who was awake while watching television, a strange pair of hands emerged from the darkness and tried to touch a girl's face. Out of fear, the girl then woke her brother, who was sleeping together, before spotting a shrouded board lurking behind the darkness. His brother told her to go back to sleep, saying she was just dreaming before she heard the sound of someone breathing with a strange noise while she was about to go back to sleep. Out of curiosity, she followed the unpleasant noise to a rather creepy room where she discovered a strangely dressed person playing with one of the toys before abruptly stopping as she rebuked the mysterious figure. The person who dressed strangely was also known as a girl who was more or less the same age as her. The little girl also asked what her name, which was then answered with a wrist stretch wrapped in paper with the words, Lisa Trevor. The little girl also asked where she lived, which was answered with the word, below, with bad writing on a piece of paper, before she suddenly disappeared. Then a man named William Birkin appeared and asked the little girl, "What are you doing here at night?" Fortunately, the little girl's brother showed up and saved the day by saying, "Sometimes my little sister walks in her sleep." William Birkin, who works for an umbrella corporation, sent the two siblings back to bed after he recognized them as Chris and Claire Redfield. He then watched the entire room with an unintelligible face before leaving. The movie then jumps to 1998, where the adult Claire is hitchhiking in a truck to her brother's house in Raccoon City on a rainy night. The truck driver talked a lot while Claire ignored him. Then the truck driver tried to seduce Claire before the truck he was driving collided with someone crossing the road due to the truck driver's negligence. Claire and the truck driver went down to examine the victim, who was a woman. While Claire and the truck driver were arguing, the woman got up and walked away, completely unnoticed by Claire and the truck driver. The truck driver's Doberman, who barking when he sees what's happened, gets down from the truck and licks the blood she's left behind. Meanwhile, at a bar in the city, a group of elite police officers named Stars were relaxing while eating and drinking. One of their members then placed a bottle of sauce on the head of a male policeman who'd just been transferred to the city, obviously wanting to make fun of the sleeping policeman. Albert Weskier, the man who put a bottle of sauce on the head of a new police officer, then challenged his teammate Jill Valentine to shoot the bottle with a toy gun. Jill showed her marksmanship by not shooting, but throwing the toy gun right over the bottle, which made the new cop jerk up from his sleep. The time now shows 11:17 p.m., when the bar is visited by two police officers, who then harassed the rookie policeman and even made jokes in his name.
Yeah, Leon S. Kennedy. What's the S stand for, stupid? Oh.
Yes, you've not misheard, this is indeed Leon S. Kennedy, even though his hairstyle has no resemblance at all to the Leon hairstyle we all know. The two police officers left the bar after telling that they were going to the Spencer mansion to investigate a body found there, which was then followed by Jill and her team to their respective places of duty. As Leon and the bar owner talk, he notices blood coming from the bar owner's eyes before something hits the window, and he sees a deformed crow lying on the ground with its body moving strangely. Claire finally arrives at her brother's house, which looks like it's uninhabited. Before she got out, the truck driver insisted that he was innocent because the woman had suddenly crossed the road in the rain, obviously trying to cover up his own guilt. After convincing the driver to calm down, she got out and walked towards Chris' house, where she saw a girl and her mother in the house next door, both in pain, with a lot of hair loss and a pale face before the mother closed the curtains. Meanwhile, in the truck, the dog began to behave strangely with abnormal eyes as well as an unusually large amount of dripping saliva, and suddenly bit its owner.
Fuck! Fucking bit me, you motherfucker!
Claire managed to get in after opening the lock with her knife when no one responded to the knock on the door. In the house, Claire meets Chris, who greets her coldly, clearly showing that their sibling relationship isn't so good because Claire ran away when they were little. She then tells the real reason why she's returned is to warn that something strange is happening in the Raccoon City, and it's all an umbrella experiment by revealing a man named Ben Bertolucci as evidence and source of information.
Umbrella just thought that they could slowly over years and years, and a couple days ago they had a little incident. I'm not just talking about waste poisoning the water, no, I'm talking about a real bad leak.
Chris, who is indebted to the umbrella, refuses to believe and considers Ben Bertolucci is nothing more than a theorist. The quarrel of the two siblings ended when a siren sounded in the sky.
This is the Umbrella Corporation.
Sensing that something was wrong, Chris rushed to the police station, leaving Claire alone at home. Somewhere in the bedroom, a little girl woke up and screamed in terror, making both her parents rushed over. The father, William Birkin, who now has a soldier's haircut style, calmed his daughter named Sherry Birkin with the help of his wife, Annette Birkin. He then went on to answer a phone call that made his face immediately change, clearly unhappy with what he heard. He then told his wife and daughter to get ready to leave. Meanwhile, Claire is now alone at Chris' house. Still shocked by the woman next door who suddenly appeared at the door, she then startled by a door that suddenly opened. She finds a girl, who is the child of a strange woman, hidden under a table. Suddenly, the child's mother stormed in through the glass door and tries to bite Claire. She then fled on her brother's motorcycle and drove away in the night rain, leaving the woman and her child screaming in pain. On the highway, Claire almost collided with a car driven by the Birkin family. And because Claire was wearing a full helmet, William Birkin didn't recognize the adult Claire. A truck drove by very fast and almost ran her over before she saw a woman coming out of a bar in almost the same condition as the woman next door. At the police station, the STARS team met with the head of the police station to discuss what was going on right now.
Hey!
Okay, Chief, what's this all about?
Yeah, what's with the alarm?
Well, if you all shut the hell up for a second and listen, maybe you'll find out.
He explained that, like them, he did not know what was happening now, although the head of the police department seemed to know that something bad was going on. In the middle of their discussion, Leon, who was also present, was even ridiculed.
What the fuck are you doing here, Leon?
You said everyone into the briefing room, so here I am.
I didn't mean you moron.
Then he informed that the Alpha team, 2 police officers in charge of investigating a body found in the Spencer mansion, could not be reached and instructed the STARS team to go there to find out what had happened. Before they left, Albert Weskier received a message from an unknown person asking him to check his locker. Inside there is a PDA with various instructions and a written message: Raccoon City will be destroyed at 6 a.m. The truck driver, who contracted the virus through his infected dog after licking the blood from a previous woman, was unable to properly control the truck he was driving and sped toward the police station. Leon, who was still unaware of the bang and explosions of the accident because of the overly loud music coming from his Walkman, remained unaware as the driver of the truck, now a walking fiery corpse, moved closer to him. Fortunately, the head of the police station arrived just in time and shot the burning walking corpse, and told Leon to close the entrance gate. Feeling something very strange was happening, he looked for his boss, who was in a hurry to pack his things. He avoids giving Leon any real answers and then rushes out of the room, unofficially appointing Leon as the new police chief. The STARS team that had arrived at the destination found the jeep of the two policemen in an upside-down condition. It was clear something bad had happened to both of them. But no bodies were found. Meanwhile, the former police chief, who wanted to get out of the city, had already reached the border, which was guarded by many soldiers. He and several civilians tried to cross the border, but the guarding soldiers shot at them and refused to let them leave the city to prevent the virus from spreading out. He survived the shooting and had no choice but to turn back to the police station. The STARS team, which has been following the tracks of the overturned car, has arrived at the Spencer mansion, their main target. Inside, Albert Weskier suggests they split into two groups where he and Jill go upstairs, while Chris and another go downstairs. At the police station, Leon, who's alone at the station, is now visited by a group of people with sick-looking, strange behavior, pale faces, and bloody. No doubt they're all zombies, victims of a virus that spread as a result of Umbrella Corporation experiments. The former chief of the police station, who now returns to the police station after his failed escape, has heard something in the underground parking lot. He returned to the car to pick up his weapon and suddenly, because of all his shots that failed to hit, he ended up stuck in a tight spot with a bulletless gun in his hand, while the zombie dog of the truck driver who'd survived the accident came closer and closer. Fortunately, Claire, who appeared out of nowhere, beat the dog to death with a fire extinguisher before Leon, who was too late, finally met Claire for the first time.
Drop your guns, show me your hands!
Quite disappointing because we all hoped that the meeting between Leon and Claire in this movie will be like this.
Don't shoot!
Get down!
You alright?
Yeah, I think so.
Back at Spencer Mansion, the time already showed 2 a.m. when Chris and his partner named Richard spotted a bald man with a pale face and a bloody mouth. Unbeknownst to the two of them, it was a zombie. Chris warned the man who was trying to walk toward them not to move before they both shot him. Chris then finds out that one of the two police officers they're looking for is the victim to a zombie earlier, and instructs Richard to find another who's still missing. Bad luck for Richard, who was looking upstairs when he was attacked and bitten by zombies, while Chris, who heard Richard's screams, couldn't help him when he was also attacked by zombies. In one place, the helicopter pilot who led the STARS team on a search operation was busy with his cell phone and wasn't even aware of the impending danger. Albert and Jill, who were checking upstairs, found a room with a piano. Remembering something, Albert then played the piano according to the instructions on his PDA, while Jill heard something strange outside the mansion. Suddenly, a secret door opens to his right, revealing a secret passage after he plays the piano. Jill, who'd overheard the noise and what she saw, called out to Albert, who was walking toward the secret passage, unaware of what was happening. Fortunately, Albert and Jill managed to escape when a helicopter, whose pilot was attacked by zombies, crashed in and burst into flames. Back at the police station, Leon and Claire, who feel that the police station where they're now taking refuge is no longer safe as more and more zombies appear, decide to find weapons for them to escape from here. In the arsenal, Claire finds a bulletproof vest and gives it to Leon, so that the man's appearance resembles his character in the game, although his hairstyle spoils the atmosphere. As they were getting ready, a murmuring sound came from a door opposite the one through which they both entered. With curiosity, Leon opened the door that led to the basement and saw a man with glasses in one of the jails. The man in prison was Ben Bertolucci, a conspiracy theorist, a friend of Claire's, who apparently went to prison because he knew the truth and the secrets of the Umbrella Corporation. Leon naively approaches Ben and asks him why he was imprisoned before Ben snatches his gun from him. With the confiscated pistol, he urges Leon to release him from prison, as his virus-infected inmate is about to become a zombie.
Oh, fuck me. You're no Einstein, are you? Thank fucking God.
Unfortunately for Ben, his inmate, who had completely turned, was attacked and bitten on the neck until blood gushed out. The zombie then approached Leon, who stood there like a fool and tried to bite him before Claire saved him. Honestly, I've had enough with this Leon. After realizing Ben is dead, she then urges Leon to get out of here immediately. But not before Leon finally showed his manhood.
Are you done?
At the scene of the helicopter crash, Albert Wesker finally reveals to Jill that he himself has been hired by an unknown party over the past few months to steal the experiment virus from William Birkin. Jill, who doesn't believe him, tries to stop him, but is saved by Albert from the zombies who attack from behind before he entered the secret passage. Seeing the zombies successfully broke in, the chief of the police station, Brian Irons, said they needed a helicopter to get out of town, and he knew where to find one and told Leon and Claire to follow him to the location. The time shows 4 a.m., only 2 hours left before Raccoon City will be destroyed. Chris, who's now alone, tries to find a way out of the darkness by using a lighter as a light source. Chris, who is tired of fighting the zombies, is finally rescued by Jill. Then she tells about Albert, who betrayed them and suggests to follow him, because that's the only safe way to get out of the mansion.
What are we doing here?
Leon and Claire, who leave the police station and are led by Chief Irons, eventually arrive at an orphanage where Chris and Claire are being cared for after their parents are killed in an accident, as well as Chief Irons' destination. Inside the increasingly creepy orphanage, Claire, remembering being taken to somewhere in the building when she was a little, asked Chief Irons why they were here, while Leon heard something moving in the ceiling.
Fuck.
Shocked by what he saw, he shouted, calling them both. As they approached, Chief Irons was suddenly pulled upward by something. They could only hear a groan of pain before a severed and bleeding head fell from above. From the darkness of the ceiling appears one of the most popular and vicious creatures in Resident Evil, the Licker. The skinless and eyeless creature crawls after them both. Leon falls when his leg is caught by the creature, while Claire tries to help by shooting the Licker. Leon almost fell victim when someone lunged at the creature from behind and struggled with it. The fight was won by the mysterious person Leon had found earlier. Claire recognized the mysterious person as Lisa Trevor, the same person she'd known when she was a child. Lisa Trevor, who also recognized Claire, took them to a place and gave them a key that led them to a secret passage.
You got some weird friends.
They arrive in a basement where they discover the secret of the connection between the orphanage and the Umbrella Corporation. They also find out that the orphans have been taken into care, apparently only to be used as experimental material by the Umbrella Corporation. Albert Wesker, who is traveling on a secret passage, encountered William Birkin, who was packing up his experimental subjects, including the virus he wanted to steal. He asked for the virus and threatened him with a gun in his hand.
Okay, wait, just put the gun down.
Birkin quickly shoots the unprepared Albert, who then returns fire in response, and shoots his wife in self-defense. He's then shot by Jill when he hesitates to shoot the daughter. Before he dies, he tells her that the Raccoon City will be destroyed in a few hours and tells Jill and the others to run away using the subway. They then went to the subway, leaving behind the bodies of Albert and Birkin, who'd injected the G virus of his creation, which brought him back to life with an altered body. Unable to pass through the narrow opening of the jammed door, Chris had to turn around to find another way out. In the process, he encounters William Birkin's mutated creature and is nearly fatally beaten when he's rescued by Claire and Leon. The time was 5:55 a.m. as they all boarded the train and prepared to depart. By the time the train started moving, it was 6 a.m. and massive destruction was taking place in Raccoon City. The assumption that they'd survived the massive destruction was shattered when the train got stuck in the rubble. Then they hear something moving on the roof of the train before a mutated creature tore the roof of the train. The now fully transformed William Birkin catches Claire, who tries to be rescued by Chris by shooting him. Claire stabs with a knife, making the creature throws her against the wall, while Chris continues to shoot, making the creature aims at him. The creature gets closer and closer as Leon, who seemed useless from the beginning of the movie until now, releases the bazooka cheat code.
You ugly fuck!
The mutated creature finally died from the shot. As the corporation states that there were 0 civilian survivors in the aftermath of the destruction, the 5 survivors walk out of the train tunnel, leaving Raccoon City behind. The film ends with Albert Weskier, who's already died, suddenly awakens in a body bag and unable to see anything. A mysterious figure then hands him a pair of sunglasses and reveals herself as
Ada. My name is Ada Wong.
Thank you for watching. Like, share and comment below if you like the recap and subscribe for more video.